It was a bright Monday morning at Golden Future Academy, a small school tucked behind the mango trees of Alojo Street, Lagos. The students of Primary 6 sat fidgeting in their classroom, watching the old wall clock tick past 8 o'clock a.m., the official start of school. Their teacher, Madam Marrow, was nowhere to be found. "Maybe she got lost again," whispered Tolu, the class clown. "No, she probably went to the market," said Amaka, rolling her eyes. "She said she doesn't eat breakfast at home because school food is fresher," Connell added with a smirk. The class erupted in laughter, but suddenly the door banged open. "Kai, you children of today," a voice thundered. Madam Marrow stood at the doorway, panting heavily, clutching her handbag and a cold bottle of Fanta. Her wig sat slightly tilted to the left like it was tired of her head. "Good morning, Ma," the students chorused nervously. "Which good morning?" she snapped, checking her wristwatch dramatically. "It's 8:20, and you people are still sitting here smiling like overripe plantains. Everybody out." 10 strokes for lateness," the students gasped. "But Ma," Sod began timidly, "you're the one who silence—" Madam Marrow barked, lifting her cane like Moses parting the Red Sea. "Are you the teacher here, or am I?" The class fell silent. Even the ceiling fan stopped spinning out of fear. And so the students who had arrived before her lined up and received punishment for lateness from the latecomer herself. By noon, the sun roasted the school compound. The smell of fried rice and beans drifted through the air as students unpacked their lunch boxes. Madam Marrow sat behind her desk, humming to herself and chewing on a stick of gum. "All right, class," she announced. "I hope you all remembered today's rule." The students blinked. "What rule, Ma?" Amaka asked, cautiously. "The inspection of lunchboxes rule," she said proudly, walking between desks like a queen inspecting her kingdom. "But Ma," Tolu raised his hand, "you made that rule last week just to ensure that no student eats contaminated food," she interrupted quickly. "Now, open your boxes." One by one, the students opened their lunch boxes, rice, jollof, yam, porridge, and sandwiches neatly packed. Madam Marrow sniffed each one like a police dog. She murmured, picking up a spoon from Amaka's lunch. "This jollof rice smells suspicious. Let me test it for poison." Before Amaka could blink, half her rice disappeared into Madam Marrow's mouth. "Delicious, I mean safe. Very safe," she said, licking her fingers. Then she moved on to Connell's beans and dodo. "This one, too, looks dangerous. For the sake of your safety, I'll test it." By the time she was done testing the entire class's food, her belly looked like she had swallowed a watermelon. When the bell rang for break, Madam Marrow smiled. "All clear. Nobody poisoned. You may continue your lunch, if you still have any left." By the next day, the news had spread across the school like wildfire. Angry parents gathered in front of the principal's office. "My daughter comes home hungry every day," shouted Amaka's mother. "My son said his teacher ate his sandwich again," cried another. Even the gateman whispered, "That woman fear me Seth. She chopped my puff last week." The principal, Mr. Oho, sighed deeply. "Please calm down. I'll handle it." At that moment, Madam Marrow strutted in, late as usual, wearing sunglasses and sipping Zobo from a plastic cup. "Good morning, Principal Oho," she said, unfazed by the chaos. "Why are all these people gathered here like a town hall meeting?" "Madam Marrow," the principal said, slamming his desk. The parents are complaining about your behavior. You eat the students' food, punish them unfairly, and always come late." Madame Marrow gasped dramatically, placing her hand on her chest. "Me? Eat their food? That's a lie. I inspect their food for their own protection. As for lateness," she paused, looking at the wall clock. "How can I come late when I arrive exactly when destiny allows?" "Destiny?" Mr. Oho repeated, stunned. "Yes," she said firmly. "Time waits for no man, but it always waits for Madame Marrow." The parents erupted in disbelief. Some laughed. Others shook their heads. "Enough!" Mr. Oho shouted. "From tomorrow you'll face the school board. We can't have a teacher who behaves like a student." That afternoon, the students of Primary 6 held a secret meeting under the mango tree. "This woman must learn her lesson," whispered Tolu. "Yes," said Amaka. "We'll make her eat our new special lunch tomorrow." They giggled mischievously as they planned their revenge. The next day, Madame Marrow came to class late again, 8:45 a.m. this time. Everyone out for lateness, she shouted, grabbing her cane. But the students didn't move. They just smiled. "What are you smiling at?" she asked suspiciously. "Ma," Emeka said sweetly, "we all brought you a special gift today, lunch, to say thank you for protecting us." Her eyes lit up. "You see? That's why I love my children." The students presented her with 10 lunch boxes filled with delicious-looking food. Fried rice, beans, yam, stew, and even cake. Madame Marrow clapped her hands in excitement. "Ah, you people know your teacher well." She started eating greedily, spoon after spoon, until she finished everything. Then she leaned back in her chair, rubbing her stomach. "My children, you have touched my heart and my belly." But suddenly her eyes widened. Her stomach growled like a thunderstorm. She clutched her belly and groaned, "What ... What did you put inside?" Tolu smiled innocently. "Just very spicy pepper, Ma. For your health inspection." The class burst into laughter as Madame Marrow ran out of the room, fanning her mouth and shouting, "Water! Somebody bring water before I evaporate." The following week, Madame Marrow returned to school, humbled, quiet, and surprisingly early. She entered the class and smiled nervously. "Good morning, my lovely pupils," she greeted softly. They blinked in shock. Did she just say lovely? "I've decided to change," she continued. "No more lateness, no more eating your food. From now on, I'll bring my own lunch and come early." The students clapped, some still suspicious. And for the first time ever, Madame Marrow taught her lesson without shouting, scolding, or stealing a spoonful. From that day on, Golden Future Academy had peace. But the legend of Mad Madam Marrow lived on. The teacher who punished students for her own lateness, ate their lunches, and finally learned her lesson the spicy way. Moral of the story: even the one who gives punishment must learn to be disciplined. And if you eat other people's food, be ready for what they might cook next. If you enjoyed this funny story of the Mad Madam Marrow, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Drop a comment below. Tell us which part made you laugh the most. And remember, don't eat what doesn't belong to you, ... Or you might get a peppery surprise